Hello and welcome to Shikara Academy's YouTube channel. In this short video, we'll discuss about a new emerging form of terrorism, that is the white collar terrorism, in which the educated professionals, they are masterminding the terror attacks. In just a couple of days, the Indian authorities have managed to take down two huge and totally different terror plots. We are talking one plot with a massive stockpile of explosives right near the national capital, and another, a silent, deadly poison conspiracy happening hundreds of miles away from the national capital. It's an incredible story. So let's just dive right in. So you have to be asking, what in this world connects a 360-kilogram bomb plot to a poison conspiracy? So what connects this bomb plot to this poison conspiracy? Well, the answer is not what you would expect at all. And it points to a really disturbing new trend that is emerging. First, let's head to Faridabad, which is basically at Delhi's doorstep. So we know that Faridabad is located in the National Capital Region and it is located adjoining the national capital, that is the Delhi. Now, in Faridabad, there was a joint police operation which uncovered a threat that was just staggering in scale. Look at this number, 360 kilograms. Let it sink for a second. We are not talking about a small device here. Officials said this was enough material to build very powerful bombs, the kind that would just cause devastating damage. Okay, so this 360 kilograms of the explosives. We are talking about 360 kilogram of explosives which can be used to make very, very deadly and very potent bombs. At first, the initial media reports said that 360 kg of RDX was discovered, okay, and which was military grade RDX. But the authorities, they pretty quickly came out and corrected that. It turns out it was the ammonium nitrate. Now, this ammonium nitrate is still very dangerous. It's highly inflammable and is used in a lot of IEDs. For the investigators, knowing exactly what it was a crucial piece of the puzzle. And get this, it wasn't just these 360 kilograms of ammonium nitrate. Investigators also found an assault rifle, ammo timers with batteries, remote controls, even a walkie talkie. This was basically a full on, ready to go bomb making factory. This tells you it wasn't from some amateur operation. These guys who were involved in this, they were very, very well equipped. So the big question is, who was behind all this? Well, the investigation led police to this guy, that is Dr. Muzammil Muzammil Gaini. Okay, and this is where the story takes its first major twist. He wasn't some fugitive hiding in the middle of nowhere. No, he was an assistant professor. He was an assistant professor at a local medical university, that is Al Falah University, and he was just living in a rented apartment. So now let's shift our focus from Faridabad to Gujarat. Okay, and in the Gujarat, we have this second plot that was unfolding pretty much at the same time in the last couple of days. And this one, it couldn't be more different. We are not talking about a big, loud bang or explosion here. We are talking about a silent and incredibly deadly biological threat, that is ricin. The weapon they were planning to use was the ricin. Now, ricin, this is a very nasty, nasty poison. It comes from the waste left over from the processing of the castor beans. So we have the castor beans. After we process them, okay, so as a byproduct, we get this ricin. And this is only required in very tiny amount to be lethal. It's a highly, highly potent uh, poison, okay, which is very lethal. It's so bad that it's actually classified as a chemical weapon. So ricin is a chemical weapon. And the scariest part is that it has no antidote. It's a chemical weapon with no antidote. So, where were they thinking of using this stuff, this ricin, this lethal stuff? The investigation showed that the suspects had been checking out some of the incredibly crowded places. For example, places with people like Asia's biggest wholesale market in Delhi, the fruit market in Ahmedabad, and even a political office. The potential for mass casualties was just immense in this case. And the alleged mastermind of this whole poison plot, it was another doctor. He was Dr. Ahmad Sayyed, another doctor. He actually got his medical degree from China. When the anti terror squad arrested him, they found weapons, ammo, and you guessed it, a whole bunch of castor oil, which is required to make this ricin. Okay. Now, just pause for a couple of seconds. We have got two totally separate plots, right? One with bombs and one with the poison. Okay. Two different plots, two different strategies used. But there is one big thing that connects them, and it's pretty shocking. Both of them were alleged run by highly educated doctors. And this is what the investigators have started calling the white collar connection or the white collar terrorism. In this table, it lays it so clearly. Look at this. The key suspect in Faridabad plot was Dr. M. Gaini, and in the Gujarat plot was Dr. A. Syed. One was assistant professor, other was an MBBS, other is an MBBS doctor. Both had links. Uh, Dr. Gaini, he had links with JEM, that is the Jashe Muhammad, and the Dr. Syed, he had links with ISKP, that is International Islamic State Khorasan province. Their handlers, they were also cross-border and Afghanistan-based was the handlers. So the if we look at the parallels, so the parallels are undeniable. Okay, so the parallels are undeniable. So how did these professionals or these terrorists they pull this without getting caught sooner? Okay, well, a statement from the police gives us a pretty clear idea. They were using encrypted channels for indoctrination, coordination, funding, movement, and logistics. For everything, they were using the encrypted channels. And the encrypted channels, okay, so these were highly educated professionals. So they know how to use these encrypted channels. And this is how this modern terror cell operates. It's a high tech, it's secret, and it's incredibly hard to keep tabs on. This mix of highly educated people using high tech tools has led to investigators to come up with a new name for it. They are calling it the white collar terror ecosystem. Idea is that these networks are tapping into professional circles for money and recruitment, often hiding their activities behind things that look legitimate, like the social work and the charity work. So, with the threats that are evolving, the terror threats are evolving, how are the authorities, the security agencies are fighting back? Well, that brings us to the Indian government's official strategy, which is known as the zero tolerance policy against terrorism. So we have a national terror strategy, which states that we have a zero tolerance policy. Now, this isn't just this zero tolerance policy, this zero tolerance, this isn't some catchphrase that government throws around. It's the official stated policy. As you can see from this written parliamentary answer, okay, that was answered in 2019, it's written right there, zero tolerance. This policy is really the foundation of the country's entire security strategy. And this policy, this zero tolerance policy against terrorism, is built on three main pillars. That is, pillar one, decisive retaliation on India's terms. Okay. So if we are attacked, we will hit back and we will do it in our own terms. Second, we have zero tolerance for the nuclear blackmail. So no caving into the nuclear threat or the nuclear blackmail. So because we have the perpetual nuisance state of Pakistan as our neighbor, which is also, unfortunately, it is also nuclear powered. Okay. And then on the northern, in the northern end, we have another nuclear power, that is China. Okay. So we will have a zero tolerance for nuclear blackmail from either of the parties. Then the pillar three, no distinction between the terrorist and their sponsors. Now, this is a really big one. There is no difference between the people carrying out the actual attack and the people who fund and support these terrorists. Okay, so they are all treated the same. Okay, so the terrorists and their sponsors both are kept on the same page. So the big question is that, has this policy actually worked? Okay. Well, if you look at the government's numbers, the Ministry of Home Affairs says that there has been a 70%, a massive 70% drop in the number of terror incidents over the last decade. So when we see the authorities take down plots like the ones in Faridabad and in Gujarat, they see it as a proof that this larger long-term strategy of zero tolerance is paying off. So now let's circle back and let's reflect. What's the main takeaway here? On one hand, stopping these two plots is a huge win for the counter-terrorism. There is no doubt about it. On the other hand, it shines a light on the unsettling change in who is becoming a terrorist. You know, for a long time, the stereotype of a terrorist was often an uneducated, marginalized person from some remote areas. Okay? But these two cases, the one in Faridabad and in Gujarat, it has shattered that image. The new reality we are seeing is that highly educated professionals like doctors, professors are getting radicalized and are allegedly running these complex plots right from the middle of our cities. Now, the question is, if the terror is changing, now a terrorist could be an educated professional living next door, then how does the fight against it have to change too? Okay, how will we change our fight against these emerging trends of terrorism?